Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set podcast. On today's podcast, we spoke to Madelaine Petsch about her new movie, Jane. It's about a high school senior, Olivia, who struggles with grief from a recent loss of a friend. When she gets deferred from her dream college, she begins to spiral and experiences a series of increasingly frightening panic attacks. In an attempt to regain some sense of control, she embarks on a social media-fueled rampage against those who stand in the way of her success. But as things escalate, she is forced to confront and ultimately embrace her darkest impulses in order to get ahead. So here is Madelaine talking about her character, the importance of mental health, and what fans can expect from this exciting thriller. I've interviewed you a bunch of times, so I'm very excited to talk to you about this film in particular. So I'll just jump right in. I wanted to first ask you if you can tell me a little bit about Olivia and if you felt any instant connection to her, if you just how you related to her, I guess, as an actor, like to kind of come in and play her.
Olivia is a young girl struggling with her own mental health, with a lack of parental advisory, with a lack of support around her. And when she doesn't get into her dream school, it truly sends her off the deep end. I mean, this movie is absolutely not based in reality. This movie is meant to be a psychological thriller. You're meant to be on the edge of your seat the entire time. And I really connected with her because I have struggled with panic and anxiety attacks for the majority of my life, but really, really heavily within my adult life. And so to be able to kind of bring that to life on screen in such a weird way, like it's definitely not a film that's championing like mental health stories. It's almost the antithesis of that in a weird way. But to be able to bring anxiety attacks onto screen in general was really important to me because I don't think I've really seen that much in TV and film ever. And so for a 16-year-old who's struggling with that to watch this movie and be like, oh, I get those too. I'm not the only person on the planet who gets them like I felt when I was younger is important to me in and of itself.
Yeah, I actually struggle from anxiety and I get like nervous a lot. And so I really did like the effect that they did because although she might have channeled it in a great way, a lot of us didn't know what it was. So a lot of us weren't told what to do. So, if you're not told what to do and you're not educated, you might not form the correct path of kind of handling your
Right.
issue. So I related to her in many ways, and I liked the shots where you see you kind of like sitting momentarily and you hear the heart beating and you kind of see everything kind of fade because that's what it feels like.
It
And
really
people
does
don't
feel
understand it.
so isolating. And I think what I really love about this film is it really shows the effects of not having that support system around you. Like she does have parents who are actively present, but they're not asking her questions about her life. They're not checking in with her. They don't actually know what's going on in her world. And it really is damaging to her. She doesn't have anyone to talk to about her mental health. And so, when her best friend dies and she struggles with this new big thing that she's lost in her life, she just loses it. And there's no one there to kind of pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and I also related to the fact too, like, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's this trigger, it's this trigger." And sometimes I'm like, "No, anxiety is there's no trigger or there's multiple triggers." So in this
Yeah.
film, there's multiple. Yeah, like there's so many things that happen to Olivia, between the tragedy, whether it's the pressure of school. I felt that when I was younger, like getting into college and the pressure of having to be perfect and get straight A's. And so there's so many things that she goes through. And you're right, even with her family, it's kind of like, "Oh, don't worry, you'll get in. It's fine."
That's like they don't allow her to like, no, it's okay, you didn't get in and we'll figure it out. It's no, but they'll accept you in the fall then. You're like,
Right.
what? So you really are confirming that this is the end all be all for this 17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just totally relate to it because the reactions you want her parents to be like, "It's fine. If you don't get in, it's okay." When people would respond that way, where it's okay, you'll get in later, or don't worry, you'll get over the fact that your friend happened, or don't worry. Or, those are all the wrong things to tell people. So
And it's
that's
like,
why I love this movie so much because it shows you all of these bad decisions and people not supporting you in a way that they should be.
a guide of what not to do under the lens of like a psychological thriller. Because like obviously, even if all of these things happen, the end does not justify the means. Like what ends up happening is so not okay. And that's not really what the story is about. But it is interesting to see like how everything just goes wrong because of the world around her. And also like she just really needs like a psychologist.
Yeah.
Truly, that's what it really boils down to. But yeah, I mean, for me, I don't have necessarily always triggers for anxiety. Like I got anxiety driving to this press day today for no reason. And it's that heart palpitation of like the beginning of, and then your mind tries to attach it to something that you probably, you know it all. But like, I just think it's kind of cool how we have both triggers in the movie and also just body anxiety.
Yeah, no, and I totally relate, because I've done interviews for 20 years and I have no issue. And then sometimes all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I'm about to start, and there's just no reason for it. So I really did appreciate that element in the film in particular. But in terms of the thriller, I was so excited to see you play this role. You were so good in it. The movie is fantastic. I wanted to ask you, in terms of filming, the process, what was it like in terms of filming? And then also, I like that there's multi-layers here. Like there's social media is a huge aspect, and I think that's a huge aspect in all types of issues, especially with teens. So what was it that drew you in? And then how do you think social media kind of takes place, influences this film?
I mean, social media is a main character in this film. Like it is almost the driving force of the film, like the B storyline of the film. Filming was simultaneously super fun and super hard and stressful and terrifying. Chloe Bailey is a force to be reckoned with. She is we made such a good team, and we really made it fun in the moments it was meant to be. I mean, there's so many parts of that montage where they really are just like a unit. And we really felt that. She's a really fantastic actress and really leaves it all on the table. I was drawn to it for all the reasons we've spoken about, but also the idea of being, an actress in this industry and not having to play a character that's likable is pretty rare. And like, you don't walk into this wanting to like Olivia. You definitely don't walk away liking her. And, I walked into it knowing that the protagonist is actually the antagonist. And that's really rare and makes it so much more like fun to dive into as an actor, because there's so many more layers. I mean, that's the short answer.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't tell you how much I loved it. I mean, I loved it so much. From the second it starts, and I won't give anything away, but from literally the second it starts to when we meet you, I mean, it's just going.
Like even that the last like 4 minutes of it should be like bone chilling, like jaw on the floor, like what the F? Like
I was freaking out.
Yeah, it's like this is so not what's supposed to be happening right now.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was like biting my nail. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like I was freaking out. So you did such a great job. So I want to ask you, for fans, what would you tell fans to go see this movie? I would give them a million reasons. I mean, there's so many good things about this. You are fantastic in this movie. But what would you tell people to like make sure to go check it out?
Go check it out if you want like a really fun, wild ride. If you're really into psychological thrillers, walk into it with an open mind and be prepared to be really creeped out by the end by me, and still realize that I am not Olivia and that I am still Madelaine. So don't be scared of me.
I don't think we would be. You're like the sweetest, nicest person ever. So I don't think so. But you do a really good job of playing the complete opposite. So I just want to congratulate you. It's such a good film. You are like next level in it. I'm just so happy for you, and you did so well. And I just love interviewing you. Every single time I talk to you, you're the happiest, sweetest, nicest person. Well, congratulations, and have a great rest of the day. I hope it's not too long. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to Madelaine talk about her new upcoming thriller, Jane. The movie will premiere in select theaters on Friday, August 26th, and will be streaming exclusively on Creator Plus Friday, September 16th. So go check it out. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're updated on all of our latest podcasts, and head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe so you're updated on all of our video content.